part 2 on seam rippers. Okay. Now, we were talking about this one, my favorite one, It was my favorite, even though it didn't cut good, just because of the way it held. Then, I was in, I started asking people. I mean, I would be at a retreat or something, I'd say, y'all, let's talk about seam rippers. And everybody's like, nobody wants to talk about seam rippers. That's like saying, yeah, let's all talk about our therapy sessions in public. Nobody wants to talk about making mistakes and how many times they use their seam rippers. Me. So, I mean, one lady had a scalpel. Okay, that's some serious seam ripping. But my hands are a little bit clumsy, and I just know I would cut fabric. I mean, I could see how if you were holding like a little scalpel, when you could just cut through the seam where you could, you had your thread, opened, kind of pulled tight, and you could just go through the thread. No, I'd be slicing the fabric, okay? I would. But I read about these, and I kept saying, should I order it? Should I order it? Because I have lots of seam rippers. I don't really need one. But the next time I went to the quilt store, I started looking around, and I found these. This was $5. Look how small it is. You see, this is my problem again. Not enough, not enough. However, this... Oh, and the top fits on this. That's another thing. I want the top to fit on the seam ripper, like that. So at least now it's a little bit better in my hand. And I have this little rubber thing back here to kind of hang on to. This is very fine, and it's sharp. It's a little sharp, more sharp up against my hand. But this is a very fine point right here. So for a traditional quilter, they're really counting their stitches. One of my first teachers, she's still my teacher. Hi, Miss Stella. One of my first teachers said, count your stitches on every needle. Ugh. I mean, her quilting's beautiful too. That would be why. But she makes the littlest stitches. This will get in those stitches. It really will. This right in here, in that little hook, like for a fish hook, in that little hook right there. That's where it needs to be nice and sharp. You see that? This is sharp. This one's sharp. No problems at all. Again, too small. But this is where the magic happens. This rubber piece right here is a real tacky feeling rubber. It sort of, it pulls on things. It's a little bit sticky. So if you put it on your face, I mean, I'm barely touching my face, but it pulls. So, it really, if you have a piece of fabric, let me see, what do I have? Okay, let's use this. Okay, let's see this piece of fabric right here. This is a piece of fabric. It's my piece of fabric. I created this out of little leftover pieces. See what I did? So what I'm doing is I'm calling this making new fabric. That's all. And then I make big pieces of this and then cut them into little blocks of different sizes. So wonky blocks. Okay, so let's say I need to rip one of these stitches. This seam right here is really ugly. What I would do is, rip them. Okay, do that. Then all of a sudden you have all of these little pieces of broken thread sticking up, and they make me a nervous wreck because you're trying to get them out, and it's like I could almost be like, I hear them saying, help me, I'm broken. You turn this fabric over to the other side. Let's see. The seam right here. After you have already ripped the stitches, down at the bottom, there's still a solid line. You just rub it very gently with this tacky thing, which sort of grabs it, and it all comes out. Gone. Oh, this is the problem. It's too small. I drop it all the time. Clumsy. Well, I was out of town and found this one. Look at this. Same company. I'm giving them a shout out. Let's see. Seam Fix. Look at this. It's a good handle. Now, the bad thing is about this one, this doesn't work. It does have a little small rubber piece on the back. I guess in case you lose your top. This one is just bigger, but it's still very fine and sharp. This is very sharp in here. This is this is the total deal. I love this. So, Seam Fix, the big one. Seam Fix, the big one, coming soon. Anyway, I love those. They all fit in my little deal right here. And usually, I'm not going to lie, I took this out, but I'm going to just show you. I keep this in here too, which is just a little lip gloss. Because when I'm ripping stitches, I get nervous and start biting my lips. Put a little lip gloss on so I don't mess myself up there. So this is how this works. How about that? So now we're on to Marie Kondo, who is, I don't know if she's Chinese or Japanese, a little petite woman who I think is actually OCD. She said in high school, she was organizing, and she would throw things away. Like she didn't want to own anything that did not have a use. And she got herself one day into such a drama over having nothing left to throw away in her room that she actually fainted. But she made a weakness, which is this OCD behavior that she could not control. She sort of redefined what that is, and she started helping other people with their organizational skills from high school. Now, she's written a book, and I read the book, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. I think my mom might have, I'm not sure. It might have been after my mom's death. But I read the book, and I got the book on CD, and I went through my whole house, and I'm a hoarder, y'all. Look. First of all, I'm a collector. Do you see how things, like I like to collect things? You should see all the rocks and stones in my house. You should have seen at some point the teacups. I finally sold those. I love lamps. Every room has 6 lamps in it. When I love something, I like laser in, and I have to have all the things. Like all the little strips of fabric. Okay, we won't go there, but you know, I'm letting you in a little something about myself, so. And when I started going through all the things that I had not gotten rid of because they were good or they were worth money or I knew I could sell them, and I have been, I've had booths at flea markets before, so, you know, I kept collecting stuff, but I wasn't selling it. I just had to get rid of things. And I'm kind of in that space now. Look at all this around me. I have forgotten the last few months that I'm a collector. And I've been like over collecting. I did it with, you know, I don't know. I just got to get over it. That's what I got to do. I just got to get over it. So I'm almost at the end of my buying little bits of fabric. Not yet. I still have a couple buys left. And do you see this vintage top? Unnamed. This is what started me. I am a collector of vintage tops, unfinished, and it's my superpower. Doom, 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 doom. I can find the most beautiful tops. I don't know how. I don't know that it's a superpower, but I feel like they're attracted to me. Like, in the most random places, there's just the most beautiful quilt top, and the person will say $20, $15. or $30, or it'll be a price that I can afford to spend. Now, I am not making a big deal out of buying them online because those have already been rescued. And I'm wanting to find them in places where people are just selling them as something to put in a basket by our fireplace, as a little local color or something. I'm wanting to bring home things that I'm gonna finish. I'm a hand quilter, but I'm not a piecer. I've been learning how to piece this last 6 months. Since October, I learned how to use my brother's sewing machine, and that I bought secondhand. And I've been buying little bits of fabric. I'm not going to say I haven't bought any new fabric, because I do have a couple of jelly rolls by K Facet that I thought would mix in real pretty, like polka dots, and one is polka dots and the other one is flowers, and I thought we could mix in pretty with some of my older fabrics that I'm buying, and Pepper Corey's fabrics, her shot cottons, because they're just, man, they're beautiful. I couldn't help myself. I bought 3 rolls of those. That might be the only thing that I keep buying. God, they're gorgeous. So look at those. Peppered cottons is what they're called. And I think the weave and the weft of these fabric are different colors. So there's a depth to the color. I don't know. They're gorgeous. That's all. So, okay, back to the quilt tops. This one right here, I did buy online. I sure did. I couldn't help myself. And it just reminds me, first of all, it's really beautiful, but it reminds me of maybe, like, I don't know, maybe the Cuban Missile Crisis or something. Like, I really see warning signs in it, you know. It reminds me of the time when people were building bunkers underground. I don't know, I feel like there's some real history in this top. So this will be one of the ones that I quilt myself. I'll probably quilt this one in black and maybe big stitches. You know, we'll see. But I have probably like 50 tops. I won't finish them all in this lifetime. That's what my husband says. When are you going to finish all of these? I was like, in my next 2 or 3 lifetimes. I just have to keep coming back to finish the tops. In fact, maybe I made this top in the 50s. I mean, like, who knows? Maybe I had to come back to finish this. Okay, that might be a little woo-woo, but, you know, you never know. You know, got to take a sip of water. Oh, reusable straw, just in case you're wondering. I'm a straw person. This has been a difficult thing for me to be able to give up straws, but I have to do it. So, I'm trying these glass straws. I don't know, putting glass in your mouth seems kind of dangerous, but we'll see. I'm going to try the stainless steel straws too. I'll try those. But we'll just see, you know. I don't know. I am interested on what anybody knows. I want to learn how to identify ages of fabrics, because although I feel like this looks like a 50s vibe to me, this could have been made in the 80s, because I don't understand fabric, because I didn't sew all my life. So I'm wanting to learn how to age fabrics. If anybody has any tips or knows of a teacher, please let me know, because that's one of the things I'm interested in. And you know, we'll just see how that goes. This is the one I was wanting to show off today. I don't know why, but it reminds me of the late 50s, I think, or maybe the 60s, like I said, the Cuban Missile Crisis, because the colors actually have a Spanish vibe to them, you know. I don't know, but I really love this quilt top. Really love it. Anyway, I think it's about time to get off, because I'm running out of things to say. So please come back and join me next time. Let me know what you think I can do better, or any topics you'd like me to talk about. And like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again.